Hello, and welcome to the Embrace Balance, Discover Joy podcast. I'm Amanda Butland, your host and intuitive life coach. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Embrace Balance, Discover Joy podcast. Today, my special guest is Leah Whitman. Leah, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I always like to start out with a little icebreaker question. Can you share with us what activity or hobby brings you the most joy and why?
Mm. Well, I think one of my recent ones, I have lots of hobbies and things that bring me joy, but my most recent one that I've been doing for probably, I don't know, 9 months, give or take, is Qigong. It's an ancient-based Asian Eastern philosophy-based practice, mindful movement, mind, body, and spirit. And I really love it. It's been, I have an amazing mentor and that I'm learning from, and it's amazing. So that's my newest project.
Oh, I love that. It's something that I've been wanting to get into, and I tried it out a little bit, but I haven't really gotten into it like really deep. So that's amazing. I mean, it does so much good stuff for not just for your body, but your spirituality too. So I
Yeah,
love
it's been a
that.
great connection. So I really,
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So we're here to talk about coaching.
yeah.
Um, so maybe can you share with us a little bit about your experience with coaching and how it's maybe impacted your life?
I think throughout my life, I've always sought out experts to help, help me advance myself. And, coaching, so I sometimes would think in the past I've sought out experts and maybe wouldn't considered them per se a coach. So I guess it depends on how you really think about coaching. But I think that from a more of a classic or traditional coaching perspective, I think for me, I was in a personal development program for quite a while, and I decided I really wanted to accelerate my skill set. And so I signed up for coaching, and it was a really amazing experience because it really helped me advance myself quicker, right? So that acceleration for results. I think that for me, it really helped me see things differently. Sometimes we can't really see what's right in front of us and get out of our own way. So that's, I think, where coaching really started for me and was a really great experience.
Yeah, I love what you said around it. It's somebody that's outside of yourself, right? That's helping you see because when you're inside all of it, you can't see except for what's in it. And so
Yeah,
you really do need that.
we have our own beliefs and blueprint and ideas, and sometimes they're just, there's just something out here to the left or right of us that's like such an eye opener if we just get that aha, and then we can kind of fold it into the mix and decide what to do with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I know that you also are a coach yourself as well. Um, can you maybe share a little bit about what it is that you focus on in your practice?
Yeah, I really help people in a multitude of ways. At a macro level, really helping people from a financial perspective live the life that they want to live now and not wait until someday, when you're 65, 70, 80, whenever in a traditional retirement sense to help people live their life now. And so in that, right, the methodology is that and in my role in that is really helping people um, have clarity on their next steps. So it's really helping people think about um, their own fears, how to kind of work through that, get reduce the overwhelm into something that's more simple. Sometimes people jump into steps 7, 8, 9, and 10, and they haven't actually even done steps 1 and 2. So, each person is so different. It's really very fun because you have people that just come in and they're just big implementers and they're just rocking it. And then you just want to help them accelerate where they're going next. Some people just need a ton of certainty and to simplify what do they do next. So there's such a wide spectrum. It's really, really fun to work with people and figure out how do I best serve this person to get them to their next step. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I love how you shared that sort of the different approaches, the different types of people, and all the tools that are available, right, from a coaching perspective that can help people through all of the different challenges that people might have. Can you maybe share a little bit more around, maybe what your favorite, what's your favorite tool that you love to use with people to help them through their challenges?
I think one of my favorite tools is really thinking about and observing the person's wiring, right? There's at a simplistic level, there's people are wired in, four different energy types, right? Some of us know that, some of us don't. But I think I think that when you can really evaluate a person through a lens of, are they a fast thinker? Are they a slow thinker? Do they need a lot of data? Do they make really quick decisions? I mean, you can assess people pretty quickly on how they kind of move through life. And so if you can meet them where they're at, and that is probably one of my favorite tools to use just because it really tailors things to the individual. And I think that's one of the things that coaching does is it tailors it to the individual. It takes it down. I mean, there's tremendous value in learning from a larger group and masterminding and learning from other people's experiences, and to complement that with a very tailored approach for that person, because people are so different that, so figuring out what's unique about them and what do they need is, I think, such a critical piece of helping them, in their next step.
Yeah, I love how you shared that sort of that it's almost like it's you're doing like little investigator work and learning about all the like you said their blueprint and how they're wired and how to best serve them in a way that's going to, like you said, meet them where they are, and custom tailor whatever
Absolutely.
solutions that they need for them to advance and accelerate
Yes.
themselves to get to the goals that they're looking to achieve. So I love that. Can you maybe share, not obviously not confidential information, but I would love to sort of hear maybe about like some of the results that people can get with that sort of that custom tailored approach.
Um, well, one of the things I would say is, in where I'm currently coaching, I'm formally doing that now, and I informally did that for quite a while. And because so many people helped me at the beginning of my journey, I implemented the same methodology, and so many people helped me that, I just really wanted to give back. And so, what I have observed over the last 5 years, which has been really very exciting, is people really go through a big personal transformation, right? They're needing to face their own fears. I mean, when you deal with money, right, that brings in a whole pile of just layers upon layers upon layers of beliefs and how they were raised, and what is normally taught in the marketplace. I mean, we teach something completely opposite of what's in the marketplace. So we're turning everything upside down. And so people go through this incredible journey of being so much more resilient. Their financial IQ just comes up so much. They understand, because a lot this is really taking personal responsibility and being a steward of your own money and not just handing it to somebody else to make decisions for you. And so there's many, many different ways to implement, right? Even within the methodology. And so people really have to, when they're successful, right? They they are doing the education, they are implementing, and so their skill sets become so much different on every possible level. And it's so gratifying to see people just become um, so much better, different, right? In an elevated sense. And then I think the icing on the cake is that, right, we all come into this, you know, um, this group looking for, we want better health, we want more time with our family. Nobody really wants to retire. Everybody wants to do something that they're passionate about, right? And so we have a methodology that gives people the choice over time of what they're able to do with their lives, right? So they really get to design what they want to, create their life to be: work, family, health, travel, whatever. And so most people all work, but then they start choosing different things and where they work. And and so it's really very gratifying to again see people elevate their skills so that they are in command of their life and they're taking back their time and being very intentional of how they spend it. And
Mm.
I mean, if you look at the world around us, I mean, most people are not intentional about, most people, life is happening to them and they're just kind of cruising through life trying to get by. And I don't mean just from a financial perspective, I mean kind of on all levels. And so I think it's just an amazing opportunity to watch people and help them get to these next levels where they're just thriving in life instead of just going along with the normal cookie cutter approach of, what we thought we should be doing. So that's really great.
Yeah, I love that you shared that. That's so inspiring, the journey that you're able to watch people take. And I want to circle back on something that you said earlier around why or how you ended up in coaching was wanting to give back because you'd received the same thing. Can you share a little bit more? Because I'm always interested in finding out, how people got into coaching and what it was that inspired them to take that step. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I well, so yeah, so I've actually had the opportunity, I guess, to for this organization and a prior organization where I was able to serve. And I think what was similar in both situations is that I had implemented, both methodologies, tools, strategies, concepts, that type of stuff, and I found tremendous success in it. And um, it inspired me so much that I wanted to take what I learned and share and help other people be successful. So I think that for me, it's, that giving back brings tremendous, I'm in a place where I can. I mean, I probably would have, I mean, I've always, I mean, even when I was in corporate America, right? I mean, I mentored people and got a lot of gratification. So I think there's just something partially in my DNA that it's just a part of who I am. But these two specific situations where I've had the ability to coach is just very passionate about the opportunity and wanting to help other people, those who want to participate, right? If you don't, I mean, that, good for you, no big deal. But if you want to implement, then I'm all in and I will spend whatever time's necessary to help. So
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know how I've said several times, so I don't know a different word of, in serving others. It's just very rewarding to give back, and I'm grateful that I have that flexibility in my life now because of what I've been able to configure in my personal life and for my family to have the time to carve out to be able to give back. So yeah, it's a super great opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what you said about, you've done it even in corporate America, you were mentored and it's just part of your DNA. I think for a lot of us it is because I kind of feel the same way because I also, in corporate America also did mentoring and it's just, it must be it's a thing. You're coaching and there's something about you that you just love helping
Yeah, my
others.
boss in corporate America would give me, the young, super smart MBAs that would come into the organization, and they super smart, way smarter than me, and but they didn't have any life skills, they didn't have any business skills. I mean, they didn't know how to sell, they didn't know how to run the back, figure out navigate the back end corporate systems and politics. So I mean, we covered the whole spectrum, even personal stuff completely outside of work, right? Just because, and so that was always really fun. And yeah, and he would always give me, the problem clients too. So, right. So I'm a problem solver. So I really, I like to solve problems. So it's just weird part of me.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's great.
Yeah.
So this has been a great conversation so far. I kind of wanted to circle back, sort of way back, because we've talked about sort of your coaching background and how you ended up there. But I'm curious because you mentioned that you were part of a couple programs and you were the one that grew and learned and elevated yourself and then you wanted to give back. But what was it that brought you into those programs in the beginning to seek out coaching in the very beginning?
Well, yeah, I mean, when my son was a little younger, we were in a power struggle. I did not know that we were in a power struggle. And I went seeking, how to solve that problem because what I was doing wasn't working, right? He was perfect for his grandparents, right? And perfect for everybody else, but not so great, right? We were just in this power struggle. So I found this program online and on Facebook, and then that was great. And then they did this webinar where this other program, this personal development program that I ultimately signed up for, it just really spoke to me, right? And I was kind of new in a relationship, and or newer into a relationship. I had been married before, and it was kind of strange because I I didn't know why. I felt like left untouched that the relationship wouldn't work long term for no specific reason, right? Just it was sort of a gut feel thing. And so this program just really, really spoke to me. And so I signed up for it, and it's one person does all the work, right? And it only takes one person. And I learned like my role about like why my first marriage failed, right? Yes, there's two people, and was he innocent? No, but I learned my role in it, right? And I didn't want to repeat that. And I saw my repeating patterns as to why things may or may not have continued to, I didn't want to just continue that type of process. And so it just ended up being a very, very great program on our level, right? Not just my love relationship, but my I mean, actually impacted my everything, my impact with my son, finances, work, my work relationships. And I didn't have bad relationships with people, um, but it made everything better because I got better. And every year that I was in it, like just amazing things continued to happen. And it's because I was elevating and continuing to get better and better. And then so, overlay that with coaching, then you just, that's just like rocket fuel of just really accelerating results. So, and that's actually through that program is how I came into, where I am now and the, financial freedom methodology that, I implemented. So it was this, one little pebble, with this power struggle with my son that, when you draw that whole string to like where I am now and the life that I live now, which is amazing. I mean, I was able to retire early from corporate America, and um, my husband and I travel extensively. He's completely retired. I'm doing this, for fun, serving others. So it's just really it's just interesting, you take one step sometimes, and the path that it leads you down is, I would have never in a million years expected that I would be where I'm at now if you'd asked me that X amount of years ago. So,
Wow, that's amazing. I just love that one little thing like led you down this path to this life that you get to live today. That's just amazing
yeah,
and so
and one of my
inspiring.
favorite things you asked, favorite tools, one of my favorite tools is imperfect action, because sometimes
Mm.
people get so paralyzed with taking action. They either want to overanalyze, or they're just paralyzed with fear, or they just don't know what to do next, or they get overwhelmed, or, right. There's so many things. And I just think as we take imperfect action, and that's I think one of my skills is I'm just a massive action taker, right? So, um, I think I can help people take what that next step is and figure out what that is. So, even if it's not, there's no right or wrong, but even if it takes you down, the sideways path, then you can course correct, and you're learning along the way. And isn't that what life is all about, is to learn?
Yeah, I love what you said about there is no wrong step because you're right, right? Even if you feel like in the moment that it was a misstep or something bad happens, it's taking you in a direction that is helping you learn a new skill or how to overcome a challenge. And there like you said, there is no wrong step. So I love that
Yeah,
perspective.
there's no mistakes. And it's what do we learn from these mistakes, right? So, but most people make mistakes bad, but there's no mistakes.
Yeah,
It's
everything is happening for a reason. You're learning something out of it. There's something to be learned, and then
absolutely,
you've just got that new skill that you can put on your tool belt.
absolutely.
All right, so this has been such an awesome conversation so far. I've loved what we've talked about already. Is there any one message or thing that you'd like to share with the audience? Anything that you would really just like to get out there and put out into the world?
Oh gosh. Oh, that's a tough question. Um, I think this is just what came to me, so I'll go with it. I think it's how can you, which is one of my favorite phrases too, how can you say yes? Now, that doesn't mean you have to say yes to everything, but I don't know, I think there's a lot of perspective out there. How do you say no? How do you keep yourself space? How do you keep yourself safe? How do you play small? And, we get one go round in this lifetime, as far as we know, right? I mean, at least in this human form, right? Right. So how can you say yes? How can you figure out how to wrap yourself with a community and people that have like minds, and so that you're not just navigating things by yourself, whatever that might be. And then, you know, if you can, right, how can you seek out coaching? I mean, there's, whether it's coaching or experts, right? Really thinking about how can I find those experts, mentors, coaches that can really accelerate and give you that vision, or help you implement that vision that you have. um, you know, I mean, gosh, there's so many things you can implement, right? Whether it's health or business or finances or relationship. I mean, there's just so many things to go do, right? There's so many, an abundance. So, I just think, how can you say yes and be okay with allowing what comes after? Because I think in my experience, right, I said yes, you know, many times, and so many amazing things that I would have never, ever, ever guessed came into my life. But if I hadn't said yes, like I said, I wouldn't be here. I mean, and I was living a great life before, but it's way, way, way better now. And it has been really great for quite some time. So, how can you say yes? That's, I think, the message, that how can you? Such an empowering phrase to figure out how can you do something that you want to do. And so how can you take that imperfect action and step to take you closer to where you want to be? That's
Oh,
that's that's what I got.
I love that message. I love what you shared around taking just, and I like how you sort of came around and putting all your favorite phrases and tools into that. How can you, but also taking imperfect action and getting, and it's like your own personal journey where you started with that one thing and look at what's unfolded and where you are today. It's so amazing. So thank you for sharing that. I think, oftentimes people don't know how to say yes, or because they do want to stay small, they do have those fears, and to just take that imperfect action, say yes, try it out. There are no mistakes, there are no wrong decisions. Everything's going to take you on a journey, to elevate your skill set, learn new things, overcome challenges, and it's like the hero's journey, right? It's not going to be a perfect journey. There's
It
ups and
really
downs.
there. For sure. For sure.
And there always has to be a challenge. Otherwise, there isn't going to be the growth. So I love that
Yeah,
message.
because if you don't have those lows, then you don't get to experience the highs. And
Mm,
that's what we're here for in life, right? For the duality of life. So yeah, fun stuff.
yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. I love that message. So thank you so much for being with me today, Leah. It was great having you on. Such a great conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. It was an honor, and thank you for asking me. And super, super awesome.
I invite you to subscribe to the Embrace Balance Discover Joy podcast and join our community. If you feel inspired by what you hear, please leave a review and share this podcast with others who might benefit. And remember, it's never too late to embrace balance and discover joy in your life. Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes filled with inspiring stories and valuable insights. Until next time, take care and be kind to yourself.